Salutations, one and all. This is my review of RWBY Volume 7, Episode 9, As Above, So Below. And I have a lot of things I loved about this episode. Before any of that, I really want to talk about what I didn't like with this episode. Weiss, girl, I love you. I truly do. Your mother gave you one order, one thing to do. After all these, she gave you the footage you need to take down your father, and in exchange, she just asked one thing. One little thing of you. Don't forget Whitley. And what did you do? You forgot Whitley! He's just sitting there all alone on the stairs crying his eyes out, and you're just off fighting Graham. Yes, I know, you had to go fight the Graham. But, you know, Ruby had time to flirt with Oscar for whatever reason. You had 10 seconds just to give him a quick hug and say, it's gonna be okay, I'm coming back for you, I'm not gonna abandon you again, blah blah blah. Something! Now he's gonna be kidnapped by Cinder and Neo and held hostage or join them and just... It's all your fault at this point. All your fault, Weiss. You had the chance to save him, and you screwed it up. That's on you, baby girl. That's on you. Anyway, speaking of Ruby and Oscar, that's... Oof. That just feels wrong to me. I mean, when I first saw this, and you watched my reaction video, I'm like, isn't there like a really weird age gap between them? And that's not actually the case. Oscar's like 14 or 15, and Ruby's like 17. I thought Oscar was 12. I really did. I just thought he was way younger than that. Wow. Okay, so not that weird a gap. I mean, that's basically the age difference between Ruby and the rest of basically everyone when she joined the academy. But there's also the fact, you know, that there's a 10 million year old wizard inside of him, so that makes it, you know, really creepy. Especially since the first thing he complimented about her was her silver eyes, which is, you know, the same thing Ozpin complimented about her, so that's Ozpin inside him complimenting her. Just creepy all around, especially if my theory is correct and Ozpin is actually Ruby's great-great-grandfather, somewhere in there. Basically, my assumption about that is that the power of the Silver-Eyed Warriors is a remnant of the God of Light, and the only person we know who has ever had any contact with the God of Light and is still kicking around is Ozpin. I mean, you could argue that maybe Ruby is a daughter of Salem instead because she, you know, actually bathed in the God of Light's pool, but I have a really hard time imagining her boning anybody. I mean, I've certainly seen plenty of fan art about her that describes her as quite thick. Oof. But I can't really imagine anyone, you know, I can't really imagine her just dating after the whole Osmus? I actually forget his middle name. After that whole fiasco, so that'd definitely be pretty weird. I mean, either way, though, that would explain why Salem wants Ruby alive. Like, if it's Ozpin's kid, then she can use it to try to capture Ozpin for good, you know, keep him in chains for the rest of his life, so that he can't reincarnate and mess up her plans. And if it actually is Salem's daughter, that's... or great-great-granddaughter, whatever. Okay, I'm not even sure about that, honestly. I guess it would mean that Salem still has some goodness and humanity inside her and wants her kids with her. Either way, that's just really weird. I'm not really sure what to make of that. So yeah, the episode opens up with a heating out. I'm guessing it's kind of centralized heating system throughout the entire place. Like, I heard people say, oh, why don't they just stay inside? I'm sure they have space heaters. I'm assuming even, like, internal heating is all set up by the Schnee Dust Company, you know? One centralized monopoly that controls all the heat. So with that shut down, they're basically screwed. I mean, they're all, like, huddling into Pietro's shop. I'm just going to assume he built his own heater, or he had his own heater kicking around that he just made for fun one day, because that makes the most amount of sense right there. Also, is that the thirsty mom again? Like, right there, huddled with the other girl? I think it is. I feel like she's been in almost every shot, or they just keep reusing your character model. I really hope she ends up being, like, important down the road, and then we can just go back and say, see, she was in, like, every single freaking episode. That'd definitely be interesting. Anyway, then, while the rest of the council is bashing Ironwood for his whole, I have 2 seats on the council, so I'm basically invincible and I can do whatever I want thing, servant comes in to tell Jaque, hey, listen, we're locked out of the network, and the heat's gone down, and this is really bad for you. I find it kind of weird he had, like, a butler telling him that. I don't know, that just seems like a weird thing for him to do. I feel like he should have, like, assistants or engineers or somebody who could come in and warn him of that, not like a butler. I mean, what is this dude's job that he understands the heating system and can pass on the information about how it all works. I mean, is he actually a butler, or is he like one of his plant workers who we just put in a butler outfit for the night? I don't know. I have a lot of questions about that. And this begins the fall of Justking. I just absolutely love it. I mean, seriously. I mean, this man's very quick descent from calm and cool to out of his goddamn freaking mind is absolutely hilarious, and I love it. Also, I'm just noticing a picture in the background, and Willow isn't that short. She's definitely not the same height as her son, so does Jaque have her bending down so he could appear more dominant in that photo? That definitely feels like something he would do. That's definitely a strange little detail right there. Anyway, then girl Robin Hill shows up and offers her hand to Ironwood to do a polygraph test on him. And it's definitely interesting that Jaque would want to bring her, because Ironwood can very easily say, I did not do that, and she'd say, okay, yeah, he wasn't behind the killing. Or he can say, I have the best intentions, I'm not keeping anything secrets for myself. The thing I'm building is very important to the kingdom and will help protect the entire world, and Robin would be like, yep, he's telling the truth on all that, that's neat. So definitely, like, blow a hole in Jaque's plan. I mean, the only way around that would probably be if Ironwood refuses to answer any questions because he's so gung-ho about keeping his secrets. I mean, seriously, it's actually pathetic. As he finds out that everyone's freezing to death and all this chaos and anarchy is going on around him, literally his first thought is, oh, thank God, he hasn't gotten into the Amityville project. He doesn't know what I'm building there. Like, seriously? Seriously, that was his first freaking thought about that. I mean, I'm glad they finally got him to, basically get the stick out of his butt, to calm down, to realize that the truth had to get out now, that he couldn't keep the secrets forever, that's all this. Which is probably why he took the whole Salem is immortal news so well. I mean, he did a fairly significant mental breakdown this episode, and they talked him through it. He managed to overcome it. He managed to come out stronger, and if they had told him, hey, Salem's immortal in the middle of that mental breakdown, there's a fairly good chance he would have shot himself right then and there. So, I heard a lot of people complaining, oh, after all this build-up, Ironwood took it so well. Yeah, he took it well. Yeah, he took it so well because he managed to overcome his stress and his panic and his anxiety and his secret-keeping in this episode. Anyway, then Weiss busts in at the exact right moment, which I just absolutely love, and has the footage. Another weird thing I've heard people complain about, though, is, oh, how did Weiss find the exact right moment in all those hours and hours of videotape? Yeah, she did. Remember last episode? Willow literally handed to her, synced to this exact moment where she's making a deal with where he's making the deal with Watts. So, not really on Weiss, that was Willow's doing right there. And I will agree with one criticism, Jaque just kind of falls to pieces way too quick here. He doesn't, say, well, where'd you find this footage? It's clearly illegally taken, or he tried to say it's fake, but he definitely didn't come off convincing. I mean, it's literal footage of him doing the crime, and he did not expect that. If he had thought, okay, maybe they might have security camera footage of me doing this, he could have come up with a excuse, something, like said, oh, so you won't believe this footage, Doctor, but you want me to believe that the video of Penny killing all those people is doctored? Well, I say, that seems very unlikely. And then Jaque tries to run away like the coward he is, and oh my god, Weiss's summoning here, being the thing that blocks him, it just works so absolutely perfectly. And this isn't explained too much in the main series, but in the manga, this was Weiss' test for being able to go to Beacon. She had to beat this thing, the armor from their old family that was possessed by a Geist-type Grimm, and that's how Weiss got the scar of her eye, fighting that thing. I mean, Jaque didn't even show up for this fight. He just assumed, oh, there's no way she could ever beat it, so it doesn't matter what happens. I mean, this was a serious fight. Like I said, she literally got a scar over her eye because of it. So yeah, her just using the thing that Jaque tried to use to keep her down, to lock him in, to essentially arrest him is absolutely amazing. And then this next line, oh my god, I just love this.
Justking, you're under arrest. Can I do that?
Can I do that? Seriously, can I do that? Oh my god, that was so perfect. So yeah, I'm assuming huntsmen have the ability to arrest people. I mean, if they see them doing a crime, I know they're mainly focused on fighting Grimm, but they're peacekeepers, so if they see someone outright, going around killing people, I'm guessing they're allowed to restrain them and bring them to a jail or courthouse or whatever. Honestly, Seriously, they have not really explained what exactly a huntsman huntresses do all that well. I mean, we see like little side jobs they have, like, oh, you need to guard these kids. Oh, you need to exterminate Grimm in the sewers. I just like a whole mini series about their daily lives and what they do, what their missions are, what it entails. I'm very curious. It just seems like such a broad job that can involve literally anything. I mean, it kind of reminds me of like hunters and Hunter x Hunter. I mean, they literally, there's like gourmet hunters who hunt rare foods, bounty hunters who go after criminals, rare beast hunters who explore and try to discover and learn more about rare beasts, and then archaeologist hunters who go after like long lost civilizations, try to learn about it. I mean, it's just such a broad job; it can literally involve anything. Meanwhile, down in Mantle, things are going absolutely crazy because they're cold, so they all just make a fire and start stealing dust and throwing that in it, which seems dangerous. But more so is the fact you're aware you live in Remnant. You're aware that when you get angry, Grimm show up. You're aware there is a giant hole in the wall. You're right to be angry. You're right to think that Atlas is trying to kill you. But you're not making smart decisions right here. You're just not. I'm sorry. You should know that all your anger and anxiety and everything is going to bring the Grimm. And oh, Lord, he does it. I mean, I think these are, if not the same Grimm RWBY saw back in Volume 2, something definitely similar. Old, powerful, ancient Grimm that have gained intelligence and can't be stopped all that easily. So, yeah, not a smart move on all you protesters, just saying. Actually, Ironwood figures this out like so easily. He doesn't need to explain it to him. He's like, alright, if Watt's alive, he's obviously the hacker. We don't have a whole long conversation about this. He did it. He was responsible for the warehouse attack. And Penny was obviously framed. And I just love that RWBY gives her supportive shoulder right here. Just so cute. And so they decide to try him for treason and accessory to murder, which, yes, those seem like very good things to charge him for. I'm sure he's done a lot worse things, but that's a good start right there. And then Robin breaks a chair, which seems like a very weird, non-necessary scene, especially since like a minute later, she's like, hey, yeah, I'm still here. Did you forget about me? I'm like, no, I didn't forget about you. You just literally broke a chair. How would I forget about that? I'd much rather she have just hit him, but the chair breaking scene just felt weird to me, honestly. Not a big fan of that. Anyway, dogpile on Jaque continues, and Ironwood basically explains, so yeah, this is a master hacker who has access to the entire Elysian network, and he can basically do anything. He's essentially God at this point. He can turn your robots on one another, take over the security system, essentially, probably even bring Atlas to the ground if he wants to. He is quite literally a god at this point. I mean, we saw him episode 2, just casually walking through the streets, destroying everything around him. Not even looking where he's going, just raising up roadblocks to stop the cars from hitting him. You imagine that in a way grander scale. It's going to be absolutely terrifying, and I cannot wait to see it. Anyway, then Ironwood's little mental breakdown, and Robin's like, why are you keeping the communication tower a secret? Who are you keeping it from? He's like, oh, you know about the communication tower? How? Which I think would have been a really great moment for Blake and Yang to be like, oh, sorry about that. We told her so she wouldn't think you were evil. Was that a mistake? Which I think was probably for the best. It definitely got her more on his side. Anyway, then they decide to all go down and save save Mantle together, and even Penny, which I don't think that's a great idea right now. I mean, everyone here knows she's innocent, but everyone down in Mantle is still probably gonna think she's evil. I mean, I'm really hoping we see Robin like get back to Mantle, see her crew, and they're like, Atlas is attacking us. What do we do? And she's like, not Atlas. It's one hacker working for the Queen of the Grimm. The Queen of the what now? We'll talk about it later. Let's all get to work here. We gotta save these people. That should be really funny. Also, I really want to see what Fiona can do, with her semblance on full-on Grimm. Can she just, like, eat them? Because that would be freaking awesome. And then this scene. Oh my god, this scene. They're running out this little as they're running out and this little waiter standing in the background, and they just keep on zooming in on her, and oh my god, that smile she has. Oh my god, Neo is freaking back, baby! And what's more, she had been coming in and out the last 2 episodes. She was there for the entire meeting and nobody noticed her because she's freaking Neo and I love it. I love it. So yeah, Neo and Cinder are back and they have some evil plan. What exactly that is, still unclear. I'm thinking right now they're going to try and kidnap Whitley and then use him to blackmail Winter into offering up the Winter Maiden's powers to them. Which I think might actually lead to Winter killing, Freya. Yeah, Freya, the Winter Maiden. I mean, I've said that online, a lot of people are against it, like, Winter wouldn't do that. I'm like, to save her brother, probably her mother, I think she might do that. I'm sure Freya wouldn't be totally against that either, just like hold her hand, say it's okay, do what you have to do while she gets smothered or whatever. Or maybe they use the aura transfer machine. It did look like he was in the background of that one shot, so not sure. Yeah, and then the whole flirting between RWBY and Oscar just, oof. I mean, I'm wet rose shipper all the way, but I don't have too much of a problem with these two together. Just, I want it more developed than we currently have right now. Hopefully we get some better moments between the two of them moving forward, but... And no kissing or hand-holding whatsoever until the million-year-old man is outside of this dude's brain. Seriously. Get Ozpin out, and then you guys can deal with your ship or whatever. I don't care. There's definitely something interesting going on when he tells Ironwood the whole truth, you know? I'm not exactly sure what it is, though, quite yet. I mean, we see Ironwood says it almost sounds like you were there. So does that mean that Ozpin's memory is starting to leak into him? He's starting to become more and more of Ozpin? He's turning into him? Is this just how the transformation goes? I mean, in the past, when we saw the flashback, it definitely seemed like there was always two of them. You know, the present soul and Ozpin in the background. But that's just like the middle of the process. Like by the end of it, is it just Ozpin? I mean, even, you know, back in Volume 1, when Ozpin gave the speech, everyone's like, he looked like he was distant, like he was talking to himself or something. So, not sure about any of that, but we'll see what happens moving forward. We had some very interesting moments of them together on the transport down to Mantle. I mean, Nora and Ren holding hands like this, there's a lot of pain right here. I mean, they can tell, you know, we've had a lot of problems this volume. There's a lot of things going on between us, but at the same time, I still really do care about you, and I know that there's a good chance that we might not make it out of this alive. So just for now, let's put our hands together, even if, you know, we have issues with one another right now. We have issues with how each other have been acting and how we think differently or whatever. I mean, something similar with Blake and Yang. You know, they share this brief smile. It's happy and sad. Like, they're happy they're going to battle together to watch each other's back. At the same time, they're a little worried that one of them might not make it back alive. Just something like that. And then they're attacked by freaking dragons, which, okay, didn't see that coming, but these things look absolutely freaking amazing. Oh my god. They are straight up monsters. Not exactly sure what Weiss is trying to do here. I mean, it looks like she was trying to get the focus to do a summoning, but she just couldn't. I mean, she has a giant bee summoning, which would be very useful here. I definitely hope she ends up killing one of these dragons, because that would be absolutely amazing to have as a summoning. I mean, seriously, she could summon a freaking dragon to battle. That would be awesome. Well, it looks like John's about to puke, which I loved. Vomit Boy is back. This scene right here, it actually irked me a little. Like, Clover opened the door to the giant Grim right behind him, literally a foot behind him. And he's like, it's fine, I have nothing to worry about. And then a piece of debris smacked his head off. I mean, I feel like his semblance has made him way too cocky over the years. Like, he just literally can't... Like, he's just physically incapable of thinking that anything go wrong for him. And I really wanted to go up against someone who, like, has a semblance that cancels other semblances or something like that, and just watch him get absolutely wrecked after having all this freaking confidence. Anyway, yeah, then they do their landing strategy, jump out of a plane. And next episode, the battle for Mantle begins. There's episode 9. I'm assuming we have 4 or 5 more, maybe. I mean, I really thought we'd get into this way sooner, like after Penny attacked the people, or after Jaque shut down all the stores and whatever. I assume that, you know, the Chaos, Anarchy, and Mantle would just reach a point where the Grim would show up and just be everyone fighting one another and just chaos, and that would be the whole rest of the volume. But we finally reached that point here. little later than I thought, but been a lot of build for it, so it makes sense. As for what happens next, like I said, I think Neo and Cinder are gonna kidnap Whitley or maybe Willow as well. Try to get Weiss and Winter to hand over the Wintermaid's powers and lead RWBY into a trap so they can kill her. I'm guessing, even though Cinder's main goal is to kill RWBY, she's all about that power, wants to get all the maidens for powers for herself, so she definitely want to go out of her way to get that as well. Really hoping that Neo's getting into betraying Cinder, like while she's in the middle of battle, she's gonna use her mirages to distract her and then just stab her in the back or something. Though I also think there's a fairly good chance Cinder might be immortal. I just had this feeling for a while, like she fell into looked a lot like the fountain of the god of light, so maybe that would be a fun twist. They stab her through the heart and she just starts laughing maniacally. Definitely that'd be a point where Osmond would have to pop out and say, "Run!" Oh, that'd be fun. The rest of them, I feel like we're gonna split up the team a little bit. I just think there's too many of them, both grim and characters, for them all to just be in one scene fighting together like that. So, I mean, Team Juniper goes off on one side to fight Grim on their own. Blake and Yang go off to fight another side. Crow, Clover, and Robin go to fight Tyrion. RWBY, Weiss go somewhere else to fight someone else. I just feel like we need to split up a little bit here, or else the battle will just be too hectic and insane. And one of the big issues I had with Volume 5, which is that the big battle they had was literally everyone in one room, all fighting separately but at the same time together. It didn't make a lot of sense. It felt overly complicated and unnecessary. So yeah, hopefully they split up, each have their own job, their own enemy to take out here and now, and we get to see some cool action between everyone. I'm really looking forward to that. Still think Atlas is going to fall. Not sure what Ironwood's going to do right now, but the opening he's, fighting in the streets, so maybe he'll come down to Mantle too. Can't imagine they'd be happy to see him there, but I don't know, might give them new hope, like, oh, maybe he isn't trying to kill us, something like that. Let me know what you think about all that down below. Be sure to like, subscribe to this video, and until then,
peace.